Awesome. What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Beautiful. So for those of you who don't know who we are, my name is Javier Carlin. I'm a physical therapist by trade, and this is Marissa Carlin, and she's a registered dietitian. And together we help dietitians and nutrition coaches to replace their income, break free from their job, and get to the point where they're making 10K, 20K plus per month and beyond that. And so tonight we have a very special training for you all. Okay, we're going to show you how to get clients
fast.
Get clients fast. How many of you would love to learn how to get clients faster? Go ahead and put a big old E in the chat if that's you. Okay, because what we have for you today is a secret strategy, okay, to sell out your programs. And so we're going to break this down for you step by step. Okay, we want to make it very clear. These steps are important. If you skip any of these steps that we're about to break down for you, it could lead to quite a bit of frustration, okay? And so with that, we have slides. Let me go ahead and pull those up and we'll get rocking.
Yeah, while he's doing that, I'm going to give a shout out. Who else we got? We got Denny in the house. What's up, Denny? We'll see you in about 2 weeks, right? We got Melissa, Kieran. Awesome. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. Beautiful. So let's go ahead. Let's dive right in. Okay. How to get clients fast, the secret strategy to selling out your program. So question for you. How many new clients are you currently getting per month? How many new clients are you currently getting per month? Go ahead and drop it in the chat for us. Okay. And so some of you might have slow or an inconsistent stream of clients trickling in. Some of you might have you might be enrolling anywhere from 1 to 2 new clients per month. And at the same time, you might be seeing some other people out there, right? Your peers that are enrolling people like left and right, like nonstop. Okay. And so you might be seeing these people that are filling up their programs and they might be hitting $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month. And there are a few different ways to achieve it, but there's one core strategy that we believe when you implement can take your business to a whole other level. Okay. And so with that, let's see, who do we have? We got Jamie's getting about 1 to 3 every month. Okay, cool. Jamie 0 just started going live October 1st. So I'm guessing October 1st of last year, or did you mean September 1st? But awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see. Beautiful. So here is the second question for you. Okay. How many new clients do you want per month? Now, how do you find out how many new clients you want per month? Well, there are a couple different ways, and it involves very simple math. Okay. Not this, operation that's happening over here, 8 divided by 2, and then 2 plus 2, which one goes first? I think it's called PEMDAS, right? PEMDAS. And so I believe the things in the parentheses go first. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and then you do the rest of the math, right? And so with that, the idea behind understanding how many clients you want per month really comes down to how much money you want to make per month. Yes. Okay. But also the other number that you have to keep in mind is what is the actual price of your programs and services. If you are selling one-to-one services at the moment and you don't have programs and packages, number one, why, right? So, ask yourself, like, why am I only selling single sessions if I think I can, my people can benefit from packages and programs, right? And so the number of clients that you should be getting per month is directly correlated to 2 things, okay? So number one, like we said, how much income you want to bring in every single month, okay? So remember that. And number 2, it's directly related to the price of your programs, okay? And that should tell you how many clients you need every month to hit your goals, depending on the price of your programs. Now, if you're like, well, Javi, Marissa, I do single sessions and I'm not sure what that would come out to, then you have to get an average of how many sessions those clients are seeing you for. And let's say it's an average of like 4 or 5 visits, right? You multiply that times the number, the rate, right, per visit, and that would be your average, right, per month. Okay, so just think about that, because that's really important in running a business. Okay, you have to know those numbers. Okay, So how many new clients would you love to have per month? Go ahead and drop that in the chat.
Yeah, we got Matthew watching. What's up, Matthew? Alexa, Divya. Hey, Divya. Awesome. So how many new clients do you guys want per month? Drop it in the chat. Do you want 1 client, 2 clients, 7, 10, 35, 50?
100? How many?
How many? Let us know.
And while you're at it, what is the price of your package? What is the price of your program? What is, if you're still doing single sessions, okay, I plead you to stop and start creating programs and packages. And we have trainings in this community to help you with that. Okay, just let us know and we'll find it for you. But really, and there's so many reasons why we say that. You'll find out in that training. And so how many new clients would you love per month? And what is your current price point? Go ahead and drop that in the chat so we can help you really dial this in, okay? And show you how what we're about to break down for you can be extremely beneficial for you, okay? If you have the other pieces in place.
Perfect. Yeah, if you guys are watching the replay, comment down below. Drop your comments. How many new clients do you guys want per month? Drop your programs, packages, pricing. We can help you out here.
Cool. All right.
All right.
So as you do that, okay, we want you to rate yourself, okay, from 1 to 10. 1 is this sad face over here, okay? This sad little guy on the left here, okay, is a 1. And if you're a 1, you're not getting consistent leads, okay? It's very sporadic, if any. Maybe you're not getting any at all, okay? Maybe you're just starting off. That's a 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what is a lead too, right?
Yes.
A lead is basically someone who's interested in your services, who could potentially be a client. Maybe they've expressed interest that they like to hear more about your services, about your program. Maybe they put a comment on your post saying that they're really frustrated with one of their, with something going on in their health that you could possibly help them with, right? Through your packages, programs, or services. A lead is someone who likes, comments, engages, messages you, and just wants to learn more about what you possibly have to offer.
Cool. And so a 10 would be you need to hire help ASAP right away with all the leads that you're getting in because you don't have any time, right, to get to those leads. Okay. And so you have an influx of so many potential clients that you don't even have the time to manage them all. Okay. Where do you fall on this scale? 1 to 10. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Okay. Cool. So this is good for you to understand. All right. Because this is all going to come full circle at the end. All right. When we show you why this is so important, even before you implement this super awesome strategy that we're about to break down for you. Okay. Make sense? Cool. So question for you. Do you want to discover how to sell out your programs month after month after month and hit $10,000 per month, $20,000 per month, and even
$30,000 per month
plus? How many of you would love for that to be your reality? Go ahead and put a big old me in the chat if that is you, okay? So that you can really get this, okay? Because at the end of the day, right, we're going to break down these steps for you, but if you don't want this, then, it doesn't make sense for us to continue.
Yeah, we need to make sure that we have the right people.
We got to make sure that you guys want to help a lot of people and make a lot of money, okay? Because money's a great thing, right? It's a great thing that can help you help more people. So how many of you would love to discover this? Go ahead and put a me in the chat, okay?
You guys are in the right place at the right time.
Yes. Awesome. So what is step number 1?
Step number 1 is you must blank. It's possible. Can anyone guess what this word is? You must blank. It's possible. Let's see. Can anyone tell me? We got a lot of people watching. Matthew,
so, yeah,
Alexa.
Stick with us here, right? Because this is probably the most important component of all of this, okay? If you don't get step number 1 right, well, guess what? Nothing else matters. And so step number 1, you must blank it's possible. Go ahead and put it in the chat. What is it?
Ooh, Jamie got it.
Jamie says, that's right. You must believe it's possible. Okay. You must believe it's possible because what, right? If you don't believe that it's possible to sell out your programs and make $10, $20, $30,000 per month. Well, how much effort and energy and attention are you going to be putting into actually making it happen? Virtually zero, right? Why would you? Doesn't make any sense. And so the first step in this process of being able to hit those numbers and sell out your programs so that you can help and transform people's lives, and not just transform their lives, but also your lives and your family's lives, right? Because this is what this is all about. You must believe, okay? So how many of you believe that it is possible to do this, okay? Put I do in the chat if that's you, okay? Because I can tell you right now, if you do not put I do in the chat, you're not going to hit it, okay? Because you don't believe. And so why would you even stay for the rest of this training? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. And so I'm assuming if you're still here right now, it's because you do believe, okay? Because you do believe it's possible, all right? So step number 2, okay?
Step number 2 is you must believe it's possible for blank.
What? For who?
For who?
For who? For who is this possible? Go ahead. And as you're typing it in the chat, also tap yourself on the chest, okay? And say, I believe it's possible for me, okay? Because if you think that, oh yeah, this is great, this is possible, it worked for, Javier and Marissa, it worked for, this person that I saw online and this other friend of mine, but I don't know if it's gonna work for me, right? It's when you have a recipe and you follow the recipe, guess what happens, right? At the end of following that recipe, you're gonna get the same result as the other person, right? As long as you have the right recipe, the right framework. And so if you have that and you have that, right, and you do the same thing that someone else did to get that result, doesn't it make sense that at some point you will get that same result, right? If you follow the exact recipe, of course. And so if it's possible, I want you to remember this, okay? It's also possible for who? That's right, for you. Okay, so go ahead and if you believe it's possible for you, put a me in the chat. Okay.
Sandy believes.
Awesome.
Sandy believes it's possible. Do any of you guys believe that it's possible?
I think it's possible for you guys.
Naomi, Sonika, Jamie, do you guys believe it's possible?
Yeah, that's a big question, right? Because if you haven't hit those numbers yet, if you haven't been able to sell out your programs, it might be because you don't think it's possible. It might be because you don't believe in yourself. So we need to shift that right now, okay? It's possible. If other people have done it, they're no smarter than you. They're no better than you, right? They're not faster than you. They're not stronger than you, right? They're just like you. And so if it's possible for them, it's possible for you, okay? Guys getting this? Awesome. So how do we actually do this, okay? What is the secret strategy?
You guys ready for the secret strategy? We're going to give it away. Yeah. It's one word.
One word.
It's one word. Can anyone
guess?
Anyone or anybody, my tongue twisted over here. Can anyone guess what it is? One word.
One word. You guys have probably heard about this before, okay? But it's probably been this elusive thing that you don't really know much about. Maybe you haven't really gotten the right recipe or the right training around it, and you've seen people do it. Maybe you've even tried one yourself, right? But it didn't go as planned. And it might be, right, for one of these three reasons, these 3 mistakes that we're going to share with you in a second, okay? Yeah. Very important you get this down, okay? So what is it? What is it?
How we do it, and we're going to dive into it a little bit tonight, is master classes. Everyone go ahead and put master classes in the chat, okay? And over the past couple of years, we've tested, our clients have tested, we've hosted, our clients have hosted a wide variety of master classes, challenges. There's been 3-day challenges, 2-day challenges, 5-day challenges, like all these different challenges, webinars, like all of these things. Have you guys, seen other dietitians, nutrition coaches hosting, these master classes, webinars, and challenges? Well, I can tell you for sure that over the past couple of years, Javi and I have tested them all. Our clients have done them all. And the most successful one across the board has been masterclasses. Masterclasses have been the most successful, honestly, the easiest way to enroll a ton of clients into your services fast and efficiently. Okay, so masterclasses.
Masterclasses. And so we're going to break down why, number one, what they can do for you, and the top 3 mistakes that we see people make that it just becomes a train wreck. Okay. And so the good news is, right, if you've done a masterclass before, if it's been a train wreck and you didn't get any signups, you didn't really get what you were hoping for, we're going to break down why that could have happened for you today. Okay. Because we've been through it. Our clients have been through it. And so we've learned a lot, okay, from observing this process. Okay. And so what I want to share with you is this little image that you see right here is of one of our clients, Jennifer. Okay. So Jennifer has a masterclass that she hosted for the first time ever about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's called Menopause and Belly Fat. Discover how to reduce your midsection while not starving yourself or giving up the foods that you love. Okay. And so Jennifer did her first masterclass, all right, a few weeks ago. Okay. She put it together in about a week and a half, I think maybe 2 weeks. Okay. She put it together and she just did the thing. All right. Obviously, we gave her a framework and she implemented as much as she could in that short amount of time. All right. The first time she did that masterclass, okay, we told her, hey, this is the expectation for this first one. We want you to run with it. We want you to go for it. And we want you to build it out, go through the process, and just, even if it's messy, just do it, right? Take imperfect action, because you do it once, you start to realize all the little things that you could do better the next time and the next time and the next time. And the cool thing about masterclasses is that once you have one built out, right, you have all the foundation in place, you can reuse it over and over and over and over and over again. And so you have the masterclass done, you refine it every single time. But guess what? The rest of the time after that first or second one, all you have to do is focus on marketing it and getting people to it. Okay. And so this is how this process ends up building up on itself. So maybe you've done one before and then you quit. Can you see how that wouldn't be an effective way to make sure that you have success with these master classes, right? Because there's a refinement process. Okay. And so Jennifer did it. She got 2 clients right off the bat for her group program in her first masterclass ever. Okay. She had about 30 registrants. And, I think about 6 of them showed up live. The rest watched the replay. And she had a couple people move forward. Right. And so in our programs, for example, our higher level program, we actually review and watch her masterclass. We review it, we break it down, and we help her optimize it. And not just the masterclass, but the marketing, right? And not just the marketing, but how do we actually get people to show up? And not just getting people to show up, but how do we actually get people to join after the fact, right? The follow-up component. And so we break all of that down. And now Jennifer's on a mission. She's like, I'm doing a masterclass every 2 to 3 weeks, right? She's like, I'm going to get this down, because she knows that once she masters this process, once she masters the masterclass, right, she's going to be hitting those 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K months and beyond, right? It's only a matter of time. And you guys are going to be amazed when she does it. Okay.
I mean, she just had her first 5K month this past month already. And now she's putting master classes on top of that. So it's only up from here. She's already hosting her second one on Thursday of this week. So she's moving. moving and grooving. Yeah. Awesome. So why master classes? Okay. Master classes are amazing because we have the opportunity to serve one to many. So what does that mean? One to many. We're doing that right now. We are filming this once. We are going live once. And I'm talking to many of you at one time. Many of you guys that are live right now, and many of you guys that are even watching the replay, right? So I'm doing something once and serving many people at one time. And when you do that, you can enroll multiple people into your programs and services in a shorter period of time with less energy and effort. So for example, think about your enrollment process, right? When someone is interested in your services, think of all the steps that you take someone through, right? And everyone's process is a little bit different. Some people have like a triage call or a discovery call. Some people do more stuff in the DMs and then you get on the phone with them, but it's a process. You're talking to someone who's potentially interested in your services, and you're talking to one person for maybe a couple days, a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months, right? If they're not ready to change their health just yet. Okay. But with these master classes, you're talking to 10, 30, 50, hundreds of people at one time. One of our clients is actually hosting her very first masterclass with us tomorrow. She's 147 people registered. 147. How many of you guys would like to talk to 147 of your ideal clients who are interested in your services at one time? Think about how much time that will save you, right? Think about how much less energy that will require. Instead of imagine talking to 147 people individually or 147 at once, right? So shorter period of time, less energy on your end, and less effort on your end. Does that sound like a good deal?
Sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, put good deal in the chat. And some of you might be thinking, oh my God, if I had 147 people on my web class, masterclass, that'd be amazing, but I'd be freaking out, right? And that's okay, right? Because you build up to that. Maybe the first time you host it, you got 10 people there, right? And one person shows up, good, right? That's a great way to get better and build up your confidence, right? And then you build up towards that, okay? So what can they do for you? Okay, a few things that masterclasses can do for you. Number one, they can help you grow your audience. And the reason we say that is when you're hosting a masterclass, you're hosting what we call a virtual event, right? You're making noise, you're marketing and letting people know that this class exists, right? And so it allows you to grow your audience. Other people start talking about it and more people start to follow you, right? How many of you would like to have more followers, right? Pretty cool, right? Number two is it builds authority. When you host a class, when you host a training, right? Just like if you were to do it in person, a workshop seminar, people start to see you as the what? They start to see you as that's right, the expert, right? The authority. And so people now start to see you as a person that they can trust, okay? Just like you guys see us here, training you on master classes, you start to build more trust with us because we're providing value. And we're also showing you like, hey, this is a big topic that we actively do and that we actively teach and that our clients and us included get great results with, right? And so now you guys see us as the authorities on master classes, okay? So it's going to be the same thing for you. It's going to allow you to increase your income. It's going to allow you to increase your impact, right? Because if you have more people that can buy into your programs and services at once, well, that means more money. But more importantly, or just as important, it also means you're able to transform more people's lives at the same time, right? Pretty cool, okay? It also speeds up the KLT factor, right? So I mentioned this, the know, like, and trust factor, okay? It's gonna allow you to create a repeatable system. And what we mean by that is that once you dial this masterclass in and you're getting great results from it, a lot of people make a huge mistake. This is not one of the mistakes that we added. We're about to share with you the top 3, but this is an additional mistake as a bonus I'm going to give you. Okay. So a lot of people make this mistake. They find out something that's working and working really well, and they think, oh, I'm going to do something different this time. Why? It's working. Why would you change it? Right?
That's shiny object
syndrome. For sure. Exactly. And so create a repeatable system. Every single time you do it, it's less energy, less effort. And that's how you're able to make a lot more money, make a lot more impact in a lot less time. Okay. By creating a repeatable system. And this one's a bit more advanced, but you can turn this evergreen, which means you can, once you've mastered the masterclass, okay, you can take the best recording you've ever done and just run it, automated, like an automated webinar, okay? And so a lot of people try and do that from the start, but their presentation, quite frankly, sucks, right? Because they haven't gotten the practice. They haven't actually had proof of concept that it works with a live audience. And so you have to get proof of concept first before you automate anything, right? Makes sense. Right. It makes sense, for a lot of people, but obviously the shiny object is like, oh, but if I can automate this, I don't have to do it ever again. Yeah, at some point. Okay. But if you try and do it in the beginning too fast, too soon, it's going to flop. Can you guys see that? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys getting this? Put I'm getting it in the chat if you're getting this.
I'm getting it.
I'm getting it. Getting it. Okay.
All right. So cool. Who's ready for the top 3 mistakes that we see for people who run masterclasses? Yeah, so there's the 3 top mistakes, okay? And, if you've made these mistakes before, it's not your fault, right? You maybe, didn't have the training for it, or perhaps you saw someone say something online, but because if it was taken out of context or out of sequence, right, you might have done it and it might have not worked, okay? But these are the top 3 mistakes that people make. Are you guys ready? Yes? Ready.
Okay, cool. What are the mistakes?
Sandy says she's getting it. Awesome. Love it.
Beautiful.
So number one, and put these in the chat, okay? Write these down. So
Write these down, yeah. So that you really remember this and it sticks right in your brain, so you don't forget it, because you do not want to make these mistakes, because it'll cost you not just a lot of time, right, but a lot of money. Because the more time you spend making mistakes, right, the more money you lose. Okay, so don't make these mistakes. All right.
Okay. So top 3 mistakes that people make, and these are ones that we've actually seen people make. So number 1 is people try to launch a masterclass without an audience. Okay. And so when it comes to an audience, that can be, your audience can be on social media. If you have an audience on Facebook, if you have an audience on Instagram, if you have an audience on TikTok, cool, right? But you need an audience, you need a following. And now there's no like hard and fast number of like, I need to have X amount of followers or 200 followers or 4,000 followers or 10,000 followers. The most important thing is that however many followers you have, whatever your audience size is, majority of them, I'd say over 50%, are really engaged. They're commenting, they're liking your content. Maybe you've had some conversations with them, maybe on the phone, through Messenger, through chat, whatever it is. But you need to have an audience. Again, doesn't matter the size, but they need to be engaged. Okay, that's number 1. And now a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, I don't want to use social media, this and that. That's okay. Your master classes and your audience can be in person too. Okay,
100%.
Something to remember, because we actually had a client of ours ask that. She's like, can I do this in person? Absolutely. As long as you have an audience. You get a lot of people in one place at one time. Maybe it's a local gym, a studio, whatever it may be, and you can host a live in-person masterclass. Okay, but you need to have the audience first, because if not, if you have one person show up, nobody sign up, 3 people sign up, honestly, business is a numbers game, right? The more people you have sign up, the more people are likely to enroll in your services. Okay, so need to have an audience is number 1. Cool?
Yes, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Beautiful. So number 2, okay, it's in line with having an audience. Okay, if you have an audience, or if you have followers, or people on your email list or friends, etc. Okay, but number 2 isn't in place. If you have a poor or no content strategy, okay, it's gonna flop. It's gonna flop. Okay, and so what is one of the key things you have to make sure you have in your content? You have to have content with the right message. Okay, the right message that resonates with the right people. And what does that cause? That causes them to be engaged. Okay, so you can see how number 1 and 2 are closely tied together, right? You have to have an audience, but you have to have an engaged audience. How do we make sure that they're engaged? Well, we got to put the right content in front of them. So we have to have the proper content strategy. If you guys are not getting comments or likes or engagement or conversations brewing from the content you put out there, whether it's online or in person, okay, it means that your content strategy and the content itself is not hitting, right? There's something missing there. And so if the messaging is off, the masterclass will be a mess. Okay. Cool. That's mistake number 2.
All right. And mistake number 3, this is probably the one that we see the most often, is that people are teaching way too much. Guys, the masterclass presentation that you give is totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different than any other nutrition presentation you have ever given in your life. And I guarantee you that. We started teaching our clients and they were like, what in the world? Like in fact, I actually, we have one of our clients, she's actually hosting her masterclass tonight. In our higher level program, where we dive into scaling and using masterclasses to grow the business. I actually presented on a topic I had no idea about, okay, to all of our students. I took the presentation, I looked over it briefly, like a few minutes before. I put the presentation up and I went for it. Right. And the reason I was able to do that without knowing the content is because it's not about the information. Okay. It's about getting people to implement the information, which means that you don't have to put a lot of information in there. Okay. And so there's a really, there's a undercover way, okay, of structuring your master classes, and there's a science behind it.
okay, on how to do it so that people just don't feel overwhelmed like a fire hose was sprayed all over their face, but they actually take the information, right, and are able to implement the information so they actually get results with you, okay? And so we really have to focus not on the education, right? Go ahead and write this down. No education, but transformation, okay? So we don't want to focus on all this education because we know what education does to people. There's enough information out there, right? We have to focus on transformation. And if we focus on transforming someone in the masterclass, guess what? They're going to realize that, hey, they need your help. Okay. And so this goes a lot deeper. Okay. But one of the biggest mistakes we see a lot of people make is they teach way too much content in the masterclass. And there's a specific way to teach that content to really make it land, to make it effective. Okay. Cool.
All right. So moving into step 3. So step 1 and 2 was about belief, right? So you have to believe that it's possible, and then you have to believe that it's possible for you. Okay. We talked about the top 3 mistakes that we see with masterclasses. And now we're going to jump to number 3, which is don't run before you can walk. Okay. We see a lot of people that want to start right off the bat with master classes. It's like, hey, just open up my business, got my LLC, did this, did that, started my Facebook group, masterclass. It's like, I'm so happy that you want to do a masterclass, but we need to get a couple clients individually first. Okay. And you don't have to work with these clients for a long time. You just have to get, typically we recommend anywhere from 3 to 5 clients, one-to-one clients first. And the reason why we say that is for a couple of reasons, right? We're all for you hosting your masterclass. That's eventually the goal that we would love to see for everyone, but we have to walk before we can run. So we need to work with people individually first, about 3 to 5, doesn't have to be a lot, but at least 3 to 5 before we can host the masterclass. And here's why. When you work with people individually, when you work with those one-to-one clients, you learn how to manage your clients, right? You're figuring out your onboarding process, your offboarding process. You're figuring out like your whole EMR system, maybe. You're figuring out the best way to do follow-ups with them. Should you do them weekly? Should you do them bi-weekly? Maybe you kind of do a mix of both, right? How long should you wait between check-in calls with clients? Should you have extra check-in calls with clients, right? You're developing your process, your techniques, your systems, and finding your rhythm, and really just finding your flow for coaching. Because with masterclasses, the goal is to get an influx of clients at one time. Maybe it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 clients at one time. And if you can't handle one client and have a smooth, clear process outlined for one, it's going to be a hot mess when you have 2, 3, 4, 50 clients at a time enrolling in your services. Okay. So that's number 1. Something else to point out too, is that you have to learn the message for your market, right? You have to love content. You have to love talking to people, and you have to learn to love sales. You want to talk about the sales a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, very, very briefly, right? If you have trouble loving sales, right, like Marissa said, with one person, and at the end of the day, you have to remember this, okay? Sales is a transfer of energy. It's a transfer of trust. It's a transfer of confidence. It's a transfer of clarity, right? Sales is serving, right? The more you sell people into your services, the more you're serving them because you're actually able to help them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking to you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be watching your content if they didn't have a problem that you could solve. So that's number 1. But if you don't learn to love sales with one person, how are you going to expect to learn to love sales with hundreds of people at the same time, right? It starts to magnify that. And so you have to learn to love it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first, right? Or at least, feel comfortable and more confident with it before you can do one-to-many. Okay. Simply makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So that's why you have to really focus on that first.
Perfect. All right. So step number 4, after you get your individual clients, at least 3 to 5, you're getting your systems, your processes, your flow, everything kind of laid out and you're like, cool, I have a really good handle on working with clients individually, that's when we recommend launching the masterclass. Okay. So sell out your one-to-one coaching first, and then learn how to do a masterclass. Now, this first masterclass that you host, what we recommend is creating an offer to get people, to enroll people into your one-to-one services. Okay, and we'll tell you why in a second. It'll all make sense in the next couple slides. We're kind of building up here step by step. So the next step would just be host a masterclass. And the truth is, like, masterclasses in the beginning, it's a different process than you've probably ever done before. So there is going to be that big learning curve there. And the goal is to, get people into group programs and all that stuff. But if we're just going one step at a time, right? We're taking those people, we have that big learning curve of that masterclass, and then enrolling people into our one-to-one services, because the one-to-one services we're already used to.
Yeah, they're already built. Right.
They're already built. We already feel good. We already feel comfortable with that. If we introduce two new things at once, if we introduce a masterclass and a group program at the same time, your brain's just going to be like, oh my gosh, this is really hard. I'm trying to learn a masterclass and I'm trying to create a group program at the same time. And you're going to feel very frustrated. Okay. So because the masterclass has that big learning curve, put all your efforts and energy and your focus into getting a really great first masterclass, and then enroll people into your one-to-one services, which you already feel good and comfortable about. Cool. Makes sense? Makes
sense. Yeah, makes sense in the chat if that makes sense so far. And because we have a couple more steps for you, I just want to mention, if you have any specific questions about this process, drop those questions down in the chat right now. Okay, if we have some time, we'll get to them at the end. If not, we'll go back in there and make sure your questions get answered. So drop those questions in the chat as they arise, so you don't forget them. Okay.
Yep, we got a couple from Sandy. So cool. Sandy, I see your questions.
Yeah, we'll get to those at the end.
Thanks for asking questions, by the way. Love the engagement.
Beautiful.
Awesome. All right, perfect. So step number 5 is to start to map out your group program. So now you did your masterclass, right? You got the first one out of the way. Whew, it's done, right? Now we can just work on enhancing it, improving it, making little tweaks each time we do it, right? And now we got people in our one-to-one program. At this point, you probably worked with a good handful of people one-to-one. Now you have 2 options here. Option number 1, some people want to stay one-to-one forever. They love working with clients individually, perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to do that. The other half of people want to work with groups of clients at a time. Either way, there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you feel is best for you and your clients. And so for those of you that would love to eventually run group coaching programs, now is when we recommend starting to kind of get your group program up and running, right? Because you've already worked with the clients one-to-one, you've already done the masterclass, you got a good handle on that. The next piece, the next big learning curve is the group program. And at this point, you've worked with a lot of clients individually. You have a really good understanding of their pains, their frustrations, their struggles. Maybe you've built out some materials, some handouts, some worksheets for them already as you've been counseling these people, right? Maybe you've built out some videos, or maybe you have a good idea of some topics that keep coming up in every single session with every single client, right? So that's how you're going to start building out your group coaching program, is looking at the clients that you've already worked with and figuring out what's the most common thing that they're always asking about. What's a worksheet that I'm finding myself give out over and over and over again, things that I'm saying over and over and over again. And that's how you're going to start to develop your group program, if that's the route that you want to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that.
No, I would say the big, if I had to add an additional mistake, another bonus one for you guys is the idea of mapping out and building your group program. You don't have to have it all done to launch it. Okay. But you do have to have a plan and you do have to have the outline and some of the components, and even the first week or 2 weeks built out ideally. Okay. And so there is still a framework that you want to follow when you're starting to map out your group program. But the secondary mistake to that people make is they wait to have it all done And sometimes it takes them 6 months to a year to 2 years to have it all done. And then no one buys it and they wonder why, right? Because they didn't learn what we're teaching you today. Okay. So that's step number 5. Are you guys ready for step number 6? Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
All right. So I think we put step 5 twice. So step number 6.
In perfect action, right? This is step number 6.
This is step number 6. So step number 6, okay, is to launch your second masterclass. Okay. In this second masterclass, maybe you do it, a month later. I would say once a month is a great cadence, right? If you want to do it every 2 weeks or every week, that's totally fine too, right? Whatever floats your boat. Okay. However hard you want I will say this, the more often you do it, in a shorter amount of time, the faster you'll get results. Okay. The faster you'll get better and better and better at this. And so step number 6 is to launch your second masterclass. And as opposed to offering your one-to-one services at this point, if you've decided to create a group program and launch a group program, right, it actually extends itself very well to launching one-to-many when you have a group program, because you can show people like, hey, isn't it awesome to be surrounded by all these amazing people who are going through the same journey as you? Great, let's keep on doing this together, right? It's a beautiful thing, okay? There's a beautiful community that you can build from this. And so in this second masterclass, if you choose, you can go ahead and offer your group program, okay? And by this point, if you followed all the steps that we laid out for you and you have the audience, okay, you have the right content strategy, okay?
You love sales.
And you're loving sales, you love the process, right? You've got that all dialed in. You're going to have massive, massive success. So here's what I want you to decide, okay? I want you to decide based on your current business and what you have in place, when is the best time to host your masterclass? Okay. Ideally, it would be a month from now. Okay. If you're like, well, Javi, I don't have any of the things that you said, it's okay. Right. A couple of things that can happen. Right. You can decide, well, I can get those things in place and I'll decide to do it 3 months from now or 6 months from now. I don't care what date it is. I just want you to decide on a date. Okay. And I want you to drop it in the chat right now. And the reason I want you to do that is when you make a decision, okay, it becomes more real. And when it becomes more real, it's on your calendar, right? You're going to start to take actions to get you the result. You're going to start to take actions to start to build this process out for yourself. You're going to start to take actions to be able to help and serve the people that you want to impact. Okay. You're going to start to take actions in order to make more money. All right. More than you're making now, whether it's at your job or in your business, to be able to grow as big as you'd want to. Okay. So you can hire a team, so you can take time off, so you can go on vacation, so you can travel, spend more time with your family, so you can do whatever the heck you want to do. Okay. And so that's why you need to make a decision on when you're going to make this happen. All right. So go ahead and make a decision, put it in the chat. All right. So that you can really get this. Okay. And so with that, once you've decided that, all right, we want to share something with you. Okay. We're actually going to be teaching you how to build, launch, and sell out your programs with your first or next successful masterclass. Okay. This is going to be a virtual event. It is going to be there is a live component. Okay. And so we still have some tickets available if you want to come live, but we do have a virtual event. Okay. So if you guys are committing to mastering the masterclass, if you're committing to serve people at the highest level, then we would love to see you there. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link to the live event in the chat. Okay. You're going to click that link. You're going to get all the details there. And, hopefully we'll see you there, because if this is something that you really believe can help you and serve you and your clients, then it's going to be the best way to do it. Okay. And so I'm going to drop that link. All right. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask us. Okay. But we would love to help you with this process. All right. And so we have that virtual event. It is happening September 30th and October 1st. Yes, there are recordings available for you for life. Okay. Ideally, you don't take life to watch them. Okay. You watch them as quickly as possible. But how many of you would like to learn this process more in depth? Okay. How many of you got value from today's session? And I would love to know, what's your number one takeaway? What's your number one takeaway from today's training? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay. As we do that, we'll take a couple questions.
Yep. Perfect. Let's see. I know I saw some questions popping up. Scrolling through the comments right now. Okay. So Sandy, you said, how do you offer that? You probably think you're referring to master classes without attracting freebie seekers and tire kickers. So you're going to get those people. I mean, that's just how it is. So you just be prepared that you will get some of those people who are just there to get free information. People there who, say the information is great, but they don't want to do anything with it. But that's the reason why we need to have such an engaged audience, and have a really great content strategy to get a lot of people to the webinar. Because when you get people there, the chances of getting people who actually want to take action and enroll in your products, programs, and services is going to be a lot higher, right? Think about it. If you have maybe, I'm just making up numbers here, but 5 people on your masterclass, on like your first masterclass or a masterclass that you host, you may get maybe like 1 person who's going to take action. But if you have 150 people, right, maybe you'll get 10, 15, 20 people who are interested in taking action right away and enrolling in your services. So honestly, it's a numbers game, but we just have to be prepared that there will be those people there who are just there to, just scope things out.
Yeah. And I'll add one more thing, Sandy, because it's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
There is a recommendation that we can make where at some point you start charging for your masterclass. And so you could charge 47, 97, 150, whatever that number is, it doesn't matter. But you can start charging for your masterclass, okay, at a lower ticket. And so you'll get less people, but the people who commit to that, are like not freebie seekers or tire kickers, right? Mm-hmm. And so for all of you, okay, just like right now, right, we have this awesome 2-day virtual event. And there's a slight fee for it. Okay. And so if you guys wanted to take this process to a whole nother level, right, you would attend that event. Okay. But we'll have, we have about 2,200 people in this group, and most people are just going to watch this video for free and do nothing with it. Okay. And that's okay with us, right? Because that's just, at the end of the day, we want to work with people who are ready to commit and ready to take action and do the work so they can get great results. And not everyone's there yet. And so that's essentially how we do it, right? You can have your free trainings in your Facebook community or, whatever social media platform you use. And then you can always, have your events, masterclasses that are paid. With that said, though, here's a caveat, right? We've hosted events we've hosted so many events already. So we can charge for it. Okay. We have the confidence for it. We have the audience for it. We have the process for it, right? We got that locked down. Okay. What we did early on, the first 6, 7, 8 events that we hosted were completely free. Okay. Now we don't do those free events for the exact same reason that you mentioned, Sandy, right? We only want people who are ready to do the work coming to our events. And so that's how that works. Okay.
Great question.
Great question. Really good question.
Awesome. And then last question, we do have to hop off for another call. Sandy says, and what info are you supposed to provide without giving away too much?
Yeah,
another great question.
That is a great question. That's like a 3-hour lesson. Okay? Yeah, we literally just did it the last couple of weeks with our clients. It was literally like 3 hours.
Yes.
So we don't have time for that one.
No, yeah. We literally created an entire course and modules, and
we have a whole program where we help people specifically with launching group programs, virtual events, master classes, creating the systems around that, and helping people hire their first virtual assistant and beyond. And so literally an entire system for that. So yeah. Anyway, everyone, hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
I'd love to hear your takeaways in the chat and what those were. If you got value from tonight's session, go ahead and just put the word value in the chat. It just makes us feel better.
No.
No, just kidding. Just post it if you got value from today's session.
Those comments help other people in the group see this post.
Yes.
Because if you guys got value and everyone's commenting value, everyone else is going to be like, what's so valuable? I need to watch that. We want to spread this message. We want to help you guys as much as possible. So comment value down below. Let us know your number one takeaway, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Take care, everyone. Good night.